From the outside, Japan dazzles. Its technological prowess is immediately apparent, with symbols of modernity like the Shinkansen bullet trains streaking across the landscape. These high-speed marvels connect bustling metropolises with serene countryside, showcasing a nation on the move. Neon-lit cities pulse with energy, a vibrant tapestry of light and sound that captivates visitors from around the globe. And the country maintains a well-earned reputation for order, cleanliness, and grace. The politeness of its people and the meticulous attention to detail are hallmarks of Japanese society. But beneath this flawless image, carefully cultivated and projected to the world, a quiet crisis is unfolding, a slow burn that threatens to undermine the very foundations of this remarkable nation. Japan's economic engine, once the envy of the world, has stalled for decades, its growth sputtering and failing to regain its former momentum. All the while, the world continues to admire its unique culture, its cutting-edge technology, and its enduring traditions. Once a global powerhouse, the undisputed leader in innovation and manufacturing, Japan's per capita GDP now lags behind not only Western nations like the UK, but also its regional competitor, South Korea, a stark reminder of its relative decline. Median household income has been steadily falling year after year, eroding the prosperity of an entire generation, leaving many feeling uncertain about their future and the future of their children. The famed social contract, lifelong employment for unwavering loyalty, is largely gone, a relic of a bygone era, replaced by the precariousness of insecure gig work, offering little in the way of stability or long-term prospects. Outside the gleaming towers of Tokyo and the bustling streets of Osaka, opportunities have all but vanished, leaving many smaller cities and rural communities struggling to survive. These areas are increasingly populated by aging residents, left behind in forgotten towns, grappling with dwindling resources and a sense of isolation. Minimalist living isn't always a lifestyle choice embraced for its aesthetic appeal. It's often a stark necessity, born of economic hardship and limited options. The small apartments, often cramped and lacking in modern amenities, modest meals, often eaten alone in quiet contemplation, and the alarmingly declining birth rate are all symptoms of a deep economic malaise that has taken root in Japanese society. Japan's stability, so often lauded as a virtue, is increasingly perceived as a form of paralysis, a resistance to change that is hindering its ability to adapt to a rapidly evolving world. It's a beautiful, gilded cage, offering comfort and security, but ultimately restricting freedom and innovation. The real Japan, the one grappling with these challenges, is often hidden in plain sight, obscured by the carefully constructed facade of perfection. It's quietly holding its breath, waiting for a solution, hoping for a brighter future, and wondering if the weight of its past will ultimately suffocate its potential. In the 1980s, Japan was the world's economic miracle, innovative, dominant, and feared. But the burst of the asset bubble in the early 1990s marked the start of the lost decades. Growth stalled, confidence evaporated, and Japan became a cautionary tale. Once mighty companies lost their edge to rivals in Korea, Taiwan, and China. For 30 years, wages have stagnated, and Japan's global influence has faded. The promise of prosperity is broken. The national psyche has shifted from ambition to nostalgia. Now, Japan's story is not one of triumph, but of managing decline. The miracle ended, leaving a scar on a nation unsure of its future. The sun hasn't set, it's simply disappeared. Japan faces a demographic crisis, a challenge that strikes at the very heart of its society. This isn't just about numbers on a graph, it's about the future of a nation. Its population is shrinking and aging faster than any other nation, creating a top-heavy society where the burden of care falls on fewer and fewer shoulders. The implications are far-reaching, impacting everything from social security to the labor force. Rural towns are emptying, as young people migrate to urban centers in search of opportunity, leaving behind ghost towns and aging populations struggling to maintain their way of life. Schools are closing, symbols of communities fading away, their playgrounds silent and classrooms empty, reflecting a stark reality of declining birth rates. And the elderly work menial jobs to survive, pushing past retirement age, often out of necessity rather than choice, highlighting the economic pressures on Japan's aging population. The middle class is collapsing, the bedrock of Japanese society, eroding under the weight of economic stagnation and increasing inequality, replaced by a precarious workforce with little security, trapped in temporary or part-time jobs that offer few benefits and little hope for advancement. Nearly 40% of workers are part-timers or temps, a growing segment of the population struggling to make ends meet in an increasingly uncertain economy, unable to build stable lives, facing challenges in finding secure housing, starting families, and achieving the same level of economic security as previous generations. Young people see their parents' prosperity as an impossible dream, a distant memory of a bygone era of economic growth and opportunity. They're asked to support a system that gives them nothing in return, burdened with the responsibility of caring for an aging population while facing limited prospects for their own future. The result? A generation marked by resignation, a sense of hopelessness and disillusionment that permeates Japanese society, sacrificing milestones like marriage and children, delaying or forgoing traditional life events due to economic pressures, and a lack of optimism about the future. This isn't individual failure, it's systemic collapse, a consequence of deep-seated structural problems within the Japanese economy and society. The cost is measured in lost dreams and abandoned futures, the unrealized potential of a generation struggling to find its place in a rapidly changing world. Japan's greatest resource, its people, the ingenuity, work ethic, and cultural richness that have defined the nation for centuries, is quietly disappearing, fading away as the population declines, and the spirit of a generation is diminished by economic hardship and social pressures. In Japan, hardship is endured in silence. Open discussion is taboo. The cultural value of enduring suffering with dignity has become collective denial. People cut back on essentials rather than admit they're struggling. Media and politicians avoid confronting the crisis, offering empty slogans instead. Outsiders mistake endurance for resilience, but it's really resignation. Social pressure to maintain appearances isolates those in need. Poverty is seen as personal shame, not a society problem. Millions suffer quietly, convinced their hardship is their own fault. This silence allows the system to persist, unchanged, but has limits a nation cannot endure its way out of collapse. For decades, Japan has been seen as an unshakable economic power, a fortress of stability in a turbulent world. But beneath the surface, cracks are appearing. Japan's fortress of stability is cracking. The foundations are weakening and the future is uncertain. A telling sign is the quiet exodus of its wealthiest citizens. They are quietly leaving, seeking opportunities and security elsewhere. This isn't a mass panic, but a steady stream of departures, a vote of no confidence in the nation's future. They see a shrinking economy, a future where growth is stagnant and opportunities are limited. The once mighty Japanese economy is struggling to adapt to a changing world. Rising taxes, a burden that weighs heavily on individuals and businesses alike, are further fueling the desire to leave. The government's coffers are strained, and the tax burden continues to increase. And perhaps most concerning, they see fewer opportunities for their children, a future where the next generation may not have the same prospects as their parents. The dream of upward mobility is fading. Tourists see only the curated highlights, the vibrant cityscapes and ancient temples, the bustling markets and serene gardens. They experience a carefully crafted image of Japan, missing the struggles beneath the surface, the quiet desperation of a nation grappling with decline. The long hours, the low wages, and the increasing cost of living are hidden from view. The world's narrative is outdated, clinging to an image of Japan that no longer reflects reality. The news headlines focus on technological innovation and cultural exports, but ignore the underlying problems. Japan's decline is slow, quiet, and already underway. It's not a sudden collapse, but a gradual erosion of its economic and social fabric. The collapse won't be dramatic, with explosions or sudden shocks. It's a gradual fading, a slow dimming of the lights, like a grand building decaying from within, its beauty masking the rot that's slowly consuming it. The warning signs are clear for those who look. for those willing to see beyond the surface. Japan is trapped by demographics, an aging population, and a declining birth rate that threatens its future. Rigid economics, a system that struggles to adapt to the challenges of the 21st century, and a culture of silence, where dissent is discouraged and problems are often swept under the rug. Without radical change, without a willingness to confront its challenges head-on, it risks becoming a beautiful preserved relic, a museum piece admired for its past glory, fading into irrelevance, a nation struggling to find its place in a rapidly changing world. And the world, enchanted by its beauty, captivated by its culture, may not notice until it's gone, until the fading is complete, and the grand building has crumbled to dust.